So our next guest coming up, 22 years in the NFL, Hard Knocks, coached my favorite team ever. That was the St. Louis/LA Rams. And there he is. Jeff Fisher now joins us here on the next round. Happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. Same to you guys. It's a special weekend. I think, and I appreciate, you drawing attention to it earlier. And, we, in our minds, Memorial Day weekend is the start of summer and everybody goes and you can see people behind there. Everybody's driving, doing all this stuff. But reality is there are a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people paid the ultimate sacrifice so we could be doing this right now.
Yeah, well said.
Appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, man, I'm going to toast them. Bud Light, our presenting sponsor. I'm drinking a cold beer at noon on a Friday. Hope that's okay with you. I'm sure you've had a couple in your day.
Yeah, I have.
Hey, let's
back
start
down a few years ago, though. I'm kind of feeling a little better, believe it or not.
Okay, yeah, well, I've heard that. That's soon to come. If I asked you right now, favorite Memorial Day movie, do you have a favorite war film?
Oh gosh, favorite war film, man. Offhand, probably not. I mean, I coached for so long. I never went to movies. I probably missed out on a lot of them. I'm actually not as a war film, but I'm kind of intrigued by this new Top Gun thing coming out. So haven't seen it yet, but maybe carve some time out to go see it. So I'd probably say, the last episode, the first run, was it 30 years ago?
It was 1986. Cool. Yeah, I was 36 years ago.
What were you doing in 86?
So you're going to love this. The only, my not to get too deep, my father passed away 3 weeks ago. The only film him and I ever went to, just the two of us, was Top Gun in 1986. But I was a young kid back then. But I watched it again last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
The old one or the new one?
The old one. I don't know if I can go see the new one. I told this earlier on the air. I get motion sickness, and these flight sequences are supposed to be next level. And so that shows you how soft I am, Coach.
Yeah. So you're not one that's going to just take an opportunity to go up in one of those F-14 fighter jets just for the hell of it.
Not a chance in hell. And I'm telling you, you could offer me $100,000 and I would not get in that because I would never be right again. I probably wouldn't survive it.
Yeah, there's some things you can take, different ways of sedating yourself. So don't rule out the $100,000.
Okay.
Keep an open mind.
Jeff Fisher, our guest, head coach and GM of the Michigan Panthers here in the USFL. He's in our fair city of Birmingham. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. How's the USFL experience been?
It's been really fun. It's gone real fast. There was a few weeks there where we were waiting on the arrival of the players where, it kind of bogged down. You had your team, but you didn't. We didn't. The interesting thing about all this is, you didn't have a nucleus. You didn't have a team that you were adding to, or you just all of a sudden had a team. And so, the curiosity early on as to, how we're going to be and how we're going to stack up against everybody else was there. But it's gone fast. I absolutely love this team that we're coaching. And I've made this comment, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys get together for a 10-year reunion from now, because they're really enjoying themselves. And, the things that they have in common, it's, I'd say one thing primarily, and that's an opportunity to get to the National Football League. And so, they're easy to coach. They're here for a reason. And so you have to continue to remind yourself that, they're not making the mistakes on a practice field or on the game on purpose. They're doing the best they can. And so it's been a philosophical change for me from a coaching standpoint. I just really enjoy getting to know each one of them and their stories and their journeys and to get here. And, I've said this numerous times. We all get into things like this to win championships, but I got into this to try to help these young guys and help the coaches on this staff. So it's been a great experience. Birmingham has been, they've welcomed us with open arms, and since we got here, in March, and so things are we're getting through it, and to think that we only have a few games left, and it's gone real fast at this point.
Jeff Fisher, our guest on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline right here on a Friday edition of The Next Round. You were a head coach in the NFL for 22 seasons. I got to go back. Super Bowl 34 in Atlanta. It was a freeze. It was my first Super Bowl I've ever been to. I'm a lifelong Rams fan. So you're going to hate this. I was in the end zone. You guys were coming down to score to tie the game. The Kevin Dyson stretch across. Mike Jones makes the tackle. You guys come up about a foot short. I've always wanted to ask you this because I've never interviewed you, and I'm in the minority here. I always believed you were going to go for 2 and go for the win if you scored there. Did that cross your mind at all? Was that a possibility?
Well, of course it was a possibility, and yes, it crossed my mind. I was gonna kick the extra point. I didn't want at that time, and we can debate it all you want, but I didn't want to put a decision that I made and put the players in a position to rob them of them have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl championship. So, and at that point in the ball game, you saw the momentum change. I mean, Kevin Carter was on the sideline, and Dick Vermeil didn't know what he was doing, and they were just hoping and praying that we didn't get in, because who knows what would have happened had we got into overtime. But I think we would have had the advantage in overtime. But coaches think about things differently. I'm not by the book guy. I'm more in the moment guy, and so all the analytics and all that stuff, goes out the window just because you don't have all the information. But I'd have kicked it. Now, had Kevin run the route, and I tease him all the time, had he run the route 2 yards deeper like he was supposed to, and then Mike Jones would have flipped his hips and gone up the field, and then Kevin would have come back underneath, and who knows, we might not be having this conversation right now. But certainly, as you alluded to earlier in your description, it was a cold evening in Atlanta. It was the last time that the NFL had a Super Bowl where there was just 1 week between the championship games and the Super Bowl. So since then, there's always been 2 weeks. It was a blur for us. We went down to Jacksonville. We beat Jacksonville, came back. Had a, team meeting at midnight, and met the players in the morning, went to Atlanta and left the coaches behind. But it was certainly was a great experience, and one that will last. It was a great ending. Yeah, and that's what people love, great endings to Super Bowls.
We're talking to Jeff Fisher, head coach and general manager of the Michigan Panthers. Really appreciate his time here on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. A lot of people don't remember Halloween of that year. I was in Tennessee for the game. It was a great matchup where you guys get up 28-0, Rams come back, and you end up winning that game. Eddie George was such a pivotal force, but one of the guys I loved watch play was Steve McNair. And true or false, Steve McNair always wanted a beer before the game and a nap before the game.
Nap, yes. Beer, no. But I don't know where the beer thing came from. Maybe he did. I don't know. But Steve he needed his nap now. That was a given. Steve was not a morning person. Training camp for years. That training camp where you got AM and a PM practice, and you're out on the field at 9 a.m. and you're smelling the grass and you're sweating, and it's football, that kind of stuff. Steve was awful. He couldn't complete a ball in the morning. You get to an afternoon practice, the ball never hit the ground. Now, Steve was, and I appreciate you bringing him up. I was talking about him yesterday to somebody, and I think about him all the time. I miss him every day. And I was talking about the anthem and talking to my team here about, what to do with respect to the national anthem and how to stand and what to think and why we do it. And it was, I shared with them that, every anthem since Steve's passing takes me to Steve. And it's just a very, very fond memory. But back to Steve, Saturday night, usually Saturday nights before the Sunday game, he didn't sleep. He couldn't sleep. He was restless. He watched Andy Griffith, Gunsmoke, and probably had a tall vodka before he went to sleep, got up, and he needed that nap. But what preceded that nap was him going out on the field, getting loose, get warmed up about 2.5 hours before kickoff, and then he was back inside. The equipment managers knew where he was going to nap on the road. They had this little bedroom, if you will, set up. It might have been in a closet. It may have been behind the locker room. It might have been the coach, wherever. But Steve needed that nap. If he didn't have that nap, he wasn't going to be worth a you-know-what in the first half. But nap, yes. Beer, I can't confirm that.
Okay. Jeff Fisher, our guest here. A few more moments on the Johnston RV Center.com hotline. Everybody remembers you as a head coach, but people don't realize you were a really good player. USC, fight on, by the way. Played in the NFL for years. Is it a true story you were returning a punt and Bill Cowher broke your leg?
Yes, it is. It was, let's see, this would have been 83, I think. We were at Philadelphia. Bill was covering kicks with the Eagles. And I went back just to field a punt. I got my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to start at free safety in year 2 or 3. And our safety, Gary Pensick, had gone down for a 6-week injury. And it was my second start. And I just went back to field this punt because our returner just had a hard time making decisions. So, it's that heel on the 10-yard line, fair catch it, and, flip it to the official and go. And it was a low kick. And so I tried to get what I could. And I got up and tried to get down, and I got caught, and Bill came in low. He was very reckless, really unathletic player at that time in the National Football League. And and he broke my leg. So anyway, that ended that season. Bill takes credit for launching my coaching career because he gets it backward. He says that was the last I played. Actually, it wasn't. I played 2 more years after that. So Bill to this day. Now, just a side note of that, we played a lot. I mean, we faced off against each other for years and years and years, had great rivalries, great games. And, my players were always reminded that in the event that you're in the game tomorrow against the Steelers and you're coming out of bounds a little under control on their sideline, and you happen to see the head coach, it's okay if you fall into his lower legs. Not that we targeted him, but no, it was a great experience for me, playing and then moving into coaching. And, I'm just really blessed to have the experience that I had and the memories that I have. And now to be able to share those memories with this group of coaches that I have as a small group here and the players, it's just kind of special. And, and as I said earlier, I put myself in position to help these young guys realize that dream. Okay. So it's been a great experience.
Just 2 more quick questions. I mentioned USC, your alma mater. Coming off that 4-8, Clay Helton was a great guy. It just didn't seem to work out, but Lincoln Riley is now the guy. He is really utilizing this transfer portal. There's a major buzz there. How excited are you about Lincoln Riley to your alma mater?
Well, I think it's a great hire. He should. I'm not putting any pressure on him, but I mean, this is in his hands now with the NIL stuff and the transfer portal in LA and that market and that alumni base. He's no longer going to recruit. He's just going to select, and so that should put them on the top of the Pac-12. And then vying for a national championship almost immediately.
Okay, final questions. 2 Rams greats, Chris Long, James Laurinaitis. Crickets for tickets story. Can you tell me about that?
Oh gosh, we had what I want to do is I want to create an environment wherever I am to where players look forward to coming to work. They understand the difference between working hard, focusing, practicing, studying, and having fun. And having fun's okay with me as long as it's within reason, as long as whatever they do, I had the diplomatic immunity. You couldn't mess with the head coach, but you also had to run things by me. So, yeah, the DBs and the linebackers and the D-line and the linebackers, they all just had all kinds of pranks going on. And the cricket thing, I think involved Cortland Finnegan in the indoor, and somebody got somebody's car and someone did something. But anyway, they got the car, filled the entire car with packing peanuts and crickets.
Where do you find crickets?
I don't know how they do. They found some stuff now. I mean, they did. These guys, I mean, they had they at one point I looked up. We went out for early practice and looked up, and on the hillside there was a tractor trailer, a automobile travel trailer, and it had all of the linebackers' cars all packed up on it. Looked like they're getting ready to go off to Southern California someplace. And so the Chris Long, James Laurinaitis, two of my all-time favorites. We had a blast together, even though, we didn't win as many games as we would have liked. I love coaching them, and I know they had fun being part of our program.
Well, hey, man, Coach, really appreciate the time. It was a lot of fun. Congratulations on your 5th granddaughter, I think, born last week.
5th grandchild, yeah. We're 3-2 girls to boys right now. But I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, it's, in this moment in time, it's a blessing. And I just, with what's going on around the country and what happened, a couple of days ago in Texas, I mean, you just got to cherish every moment. And, I will say this, the USFL came back and, they're, from day one, the promotional model was united by football. And we need to unite this country. We need to get this country back on the same page and get everybody working together. And you do so by respecting people, loving people, and honoring people. And, just this divisive stuff is just getting out of hand. So, I'm blessed. I know how blessed I am. I'm reminded every day with my family and this God-given gifts of grandkids, and I just want to wish everybody the best this weekend, and let's keep things in perspective.
It couldn't be said better. Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck the rest of the season. Enjoy Memorial Day weekend, and enjoy our city of Birmingham.
We will do so. Call me anytime. Love to come back and join you.
Would love to. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's Coach Jeff Fisher, 22 years in the NFL as a head coach. He's now the general manager and head coach of the Michigan Panthers. We appreciate him joining us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.